he was a great friend to so many people out there. The stories everybody had was constantly about how anytime they needed my son, he was there.
Friends that gave little whatnots about him and how just a wonderful guy he was. Never had a temper, never got in arguments with anybody if he didn't.
What do you believe happened to your son?
I believe that they were drugged in some kind of drug, and then they were drugged outside and left in the snow to die.
She said, quote, David didn't do drugs and was strong about not doing them, especially what's been spoken about on social media.
And we also, I don't believe anybody's innocent in this. My son was a grown man, and I love him dearly, and this is tearing me apart. But I have to fight for him now.
Nothing makes sense. Nothing. I want justice. It's heartbreaking. You know, my daughter keeps saying, I miss my dad. I miss my dad.
In a gripping tale of camaraderie and tragedy, 5 lifelong friends, united since high school, embarked on a fateful Sunday, January 7th. Their cherished ritual? Watching the Kansas City Chiefs in action. On this night, as the Chiefs clashed with the Chargers, they converged at the mysterious abode of a 5th unnamed friend. Little did they know the evening would take a sinister turn. After the game, just past 9 p.m., the group shifted locations to the home of Jordan Willis, a brilliant scientist dwelling in a tranquil Kansas City, Missouri neighborhood. Little did they know that, 2 days later, the backyard of Jordan's abode would become a chilling crime scene. 3 of those high school buddies were discovered lifeless and frozen, a stark contrast to the unsuspecting atmosphere of the quiet, safe neighborhood. Shockingly, for those 2 haunting days, their work-from-home friend remained oblivious to the ominous events unfolding in his own backyard. In a harrowing turn of events, David Harrington, 37, Clayton McGeeney, 36, and Ricky Johnson, 38, were discovered lifeless on the ominous night of January 9th. As frantic families relentlessly texted Jordan seeking answers, an eerie silence enveloped the unfolding tragedy. After 2 agonizing days of unreturned messages, the fiancée of one of the men took matters into her own hands. Breaking through the basement door after he wouldn't answer the front door, she stumbled upon a ghastly scene on Jordan's back porch. A lifeless body lay in the cold grasp of fate. The clock struck 10 p.m. as she urgently summoned the police. When the authorities arrived, Jordan, clad in boxer briefs and holding a wine glass, answered the door. A surreal encounter unfolded as he cooperated fully. The revelation came swiftly. 2 more frozen bodies, eerily preserved in the backyard. The police, declaring no immediate signs of foul play, pledged to unravel the chilling mystery that gripped the quiet neighborhood. Jordan Willis, he lawyered up immediately. His attorney has come out and spoke a few times. Jordan's attorney says that his client was not aware that his friends were dead behind his home until police showed up at his door on January 9th. His attorney, in a statement to the Independent News, said that Jordan does not know the timing or manner of their deaths, nor does he know how or when they exited his house. He also had no knowledge that they remained in his backyard or that they needed medical attention. Jordan also was unaware that loved ones had been trying to locate the 3 missing friends, even though 2 of their cars that belonged to the friends were parked in his street outside of his home. He says he didn't notice the cars because they were not parked in his driveway. Mr. Willis also did not hear the 2 people that came to his house looking, because he sleeps with earbuds and a loud fan. Yet he did hear the police when they came knocking just shortly after. Jordan was also seen with a U-Haul outside of his home that he rented and was moving out less than a week after the bodies were discovered. His attorney says it's because of all the social media activity and the harassment that he was receiving. That very well could be true. So it wasn't for a couple of weeks until Jordan's attorney dropped the bombshell that there was actually a 5th friend there. His attorney told News Nation that the man arrived at Jordan's home before the other three, and that when he left around midnight, the other four men were alive and watching Jeopardy when he left. Watching Jeopardy sounds just strange. After these guys were partying all night, they just decided to chill and start watching Jeopardy. Anyway, Jordan's attorney's original statement was that Jordan got tired at some point and he went to sleep. One day later, though, the same attorney said he misspoke. He now says that Jordan escorted the men to the door, said their goodbyes, went back to the couch, and then he fell asleep. So, what does Jordan say he did during those 2 days? Well, originally his attorney said Jordan had left the home sporadically on Monday and Tuesday. He now says he misspoke, and what he meant to say was Jordan was sleeping and he left his bedroom sporadically. Now, investigators say that they are 100% not looking into the deaths as a homicide. They are awaiting the results of autopsies and toxicology reports, which will be critical to unraveling the mystery of what happened to these three men. As of Wednesday, January 24th, the Kansas City Police Department still said that it doesn't suspect foul play. According to Jordan Willis's attorney, those autopsy results could take about 6 weeks or so. Now, the father of Ricky says his son had dabbled in drugs but wasn't an abuser, and also that law enforcement won't return any of the family's calls.
What do you believe happened to your son?
Believe that they were drugged in some kind of drug, and then they were drugged outside and left in the snow to die. And I don't know why, I don't know what went on, but I believe that because you can't have three grown men like that laying in the backyard, supposedly freezing to death. Well, they would have kicked the doors in and gotten the house. So I really believe they were drugged and then laid back there, and he didn't call the police for 2 days.
Very weird thing to do. We'd have to understand motive, but the first question is, because it's just, you have to admit that's a very bizarre thing to do if you're trying to separate yourself from a criminal activity, putting them in your own yard. But was your son someone who abused drugs? I'm sorry to ask the question. I know you just lost him, but it's something that we'd have to know.
I don't believe he abused drugs. I know he did some drugs. I don't know what time. But I don't believe he was abusing. He didn't have to go to rehab or anything like that. So, no. I think they were partying and everybody did.
I understand. And why do you believe that the friend Willis, do you know him? Do you know this Jordan Willis?
No.
Never met him? Never heard anything about him from Ricky?
No, nothing. The only thing I ever heard was Boyd said the guy wasn't quite right. He said mentally he was a little off.
I think you just said that your son had said that he wasn't quite right, that he was something off about him. You remembered Ricky saying that, but obviously he was still cool hanging out with him because that's where he was at the house that night.
Correct. Yes, all three of them went over there.
All right, and just one last question for you, and know that until this is solved, we'll stay on it. We're always a phone call away, okay? So we're here as you get more information. What are the police telling you right now?
Police won't even talk to it. We called probably 15 times. They don't return our call. I called the sheriff. He hasn't returned my call.
Really?
About Bernie. He's on it now. So we're just, well, one day.
My guess is, Ricky, you're going to get some attention when they know. I mean, look, you've been talking to the media already, but we're going to start calling the police and try to find out. I mean, that's part of the job, is being in touch with the victims' families. A lot of this doesn't make sense. I'm not questioning your credibility. I'm saying the story doesn't make sense. So, Ricky Johnson, we're on it, and I'm very sorry for the loss to your family, and we're a phone call away.
Really, really appreciate all the help you can give us.
All right. Ricky Johnson, Sr., thank you very much. Again, condolences to your family.
I think it's also noteworthy to add in that allegedly Jordan had also bought 5 football tickets for them to all go to the next game together. So the tenant of the home lawyered up immediately. The 5th friend that has still not been named also lawyered up immediately. This is a strange case. How do 3 grown, healthy men all wind up frozen to death outside of one of their good buddies' houses? All 3 at the same time. So in analyzing the details as we know them up until today, it is crucial to distinguish between facts and personal opinions. And based on reports, attorney statements, and the victims' families, it is my opinion, I do believe that drugs might have played a role in this tragedy. The notion that alcohol alone was the culprit seems pretty implausible to me, considering they had cars, they could have sought refuge at a neighbor's house, so on. Speculating further, it's conceivable that all 4 indulged in some drug with Jordan Willis, the renter, potentially passing out while the others met a tragic fate outside. Factors like varying drug amounts, tolerance levels, or Jordan being incapacitated in some way add complexity to the scenario. While it's easy to jump to conclusions of guilt, another plausible explanation is that Jordan was severely hungover or unwell, confining himself for a day and a half without checking his phone. Upon discovering his friends frozen and lifeless, panic ensued, possibly due to shock or concerns over the drugs that may have been there. The myriad of statements and discrepancies from attorneys only adds to the uncertainty, leaving room for the possibility that Jordan very well may have had no direct involvement, but succumbed to panic in the aftermath. Now, as we wrap up this heart-wrenching story for now, let's hit pause before we plunge into a wild witch hunt. The truth we seek rests in the yet-to-be-unveiled pages of autopsy and toxicology reports. These reports hold the key to unlocking a myriad of questions, from what drugs they may have used to the way they met their untimely fate. Were the other 2 survivors tested for the same substances? How did these drugs find their way into the 3 departed friends' systems? Did they smoke, inhale, ingest, or devour them? The clock ticks, and we ache to know the day and time when their worlds went silent, and a lingering query dances in the shadows. Did they knowingly take those drugs, or was it a cruel twist of fate? Now, let's pivot to a broader canvas. Fentanyl, a silent menace claiming lives on an unprecedented scale. It's not just a problem confined to dark alleys and desperate corners. It is seeping into the lives of unsuspecting souls. It's my opinion that rapidly implementing accessible and free fentanyl test strips, Narcan distribution, and medical amnesty policies with no questions asked could be very tangible steps to at least begin to mitigate the crisis. Contemplating the broader landscape, perhaps it's time to rewrite the script of our approach. The war on drugs, a chapter very much ingrained in my own story, my own life, seemingly failed many. It perpetuates fear, secrecy, and shame, leading us down a perilous path in the throes of an opioid crisis. It's time to shed the judgment, question the effectiveness, and consider a different course of action as fentanyl deaths spiral, signaling that we've lost this battle. Maybe, just maybe, it's time for a new narrative. To the families of David Harrington, Clayton McGeeney, and Ricky Johnson, my heart is with you. And although I can't fully understand the pain that you're going through and words can't capture the hurt that you must be feeling, I'm truly sorry for your loss. These guys were more than Kansas City Chiefs football fans. They were friends who created lasting memories, especially cheering for the Chiefs. I hope that the memories of their laughter, shared moments, and strong friendship provide some comfort to all of you during this tough time. While it's hard to find solace, know that our thoughts are with you. Their spirit lives on in the joy that they brought, and we all share in remembering these 3 special individuals. Hey everyone, Kari Moody here. Thanks a ton for tuning in. If you enjoyed what you saw and you want more content like this, do me a solid, hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Now, if you're feeling extra awesome and want to take our connection to the next level, consider becoming a member for as low as 99 cents a month. You can unlock some exclusive perks and help this channel grow. A massive shout out to each one of you for watching. Remember to stay safe and warm out there. And until next time, take care. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.